Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm James Clutton and we are Opera Holland Park. Thank you so much. I'm James Clutton, Director of Opera and Chief Executive of Opera Holland Park. Thanks for joining us. That was Keandra Howarth, soprano, and Fran Hills on piano. It's just great to hear live music again, isn't it?
It's extraordinary.
So, I feel quite emotional already. We've only just started. It's obviously, I wish you were all here tonight as well with us. It's what we would normally be doing things like this in person. It'd be great to have you here. You're obviously at home missing live music as well. I think that we've had a lot of overwhelming response since we announced our season last week and our plans for our theatre and our casting and creative teams and everything. And it's really been heartening and thrilling for us to hear that response from you all. So I know that you're all waiting to get in front of live music again, and I just wish you'd have been here with us because that was absolutely gorgeous. Anna, later on we're going to have, so this is Anna Pickard. Later on we're going to have some questions. Anna, how can people put questions to us?
Well, questions can be submitted via the link on the form on the email that we sent you this afternoon, which we know you had got because you wouldn't be able to tune in if you hadn't. Or you can use the chat box, which is on the right of the screen on the YouTube channel. Great.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, you've all seen the theatre plans, at least some of you have, and some of the plans we sent out. Designed by the wonderful designer Takis, who's just been incredible to work with on this. We think it's a really exciting and vibrant performance space, but we've also put safety first. Safety is our priority, always is all the way through everything, and that just will continue to be. The news this week has been pretty positive, we think. We're pretty confident of June because, as George Harrison once said, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter, and we are just waiting to get to the summer. And I think the news this week has been pretty positive and optimistic for us all. So we're confident, and we can't wait to get back with you again. When you've seen the theatre plans, you'd have all seen that we have reduced the capacity of our theatre from 1,000 to 400. This is, obviously a big drop. We'll talk about this later on, but it was putting the safety first. It's incredible social distancing we can give everyone. But through that, we're still able to keep the same amount of percentage of our free tickets, our Inspire tickets, all the accessibly priced tickets that we do. We've increased to 2 school matinees, and we've also got some discovery matinees, which we'll talk about later on, relaxed performances. What have we done? We'll look at it together later. We're going to show you some more slides and I can talk you through them. But basically, we've taken the seating stand itself away. I know one of the worries a lot of people had was of just about, even if they were socially distanced, moving along rows to get to positions in there. So what we tried to do is take the seating stand away and look at it very differently, completely reimagination of it. Everyone will have individual chairs, and so they can be moved into bubbles of the family bubble or the household bubble that books. That could be 2s or 3s or 4s. Don't worry, we've also got a lot of single tickets as well that we can just go to all of our audience what they want ticket-wise. And I think that just having that flexibility of individual seats is going to be a big improvement for us, and particularly safe this year. With our new theatre as well, we've also got much more accessible areas for wheelchairs, and all the step-free thing throughout the theatre is going to be much improved in this short term here. Your reaction and support, when I last spoke to you in November, we talked about the reaction and support you'd given us through the summer and the autumn, incredible support. And I have to repeat again my thanks on behalf of all the team on that, because it's continued through the autumn, through the start of the winter. You've supported us in so many ways, your memberships and extra donors stepping in. It's just been wonderful. And I'd like to also take a moment to thank all the trusts and foundations that have supported us through this time as well, without whom. It's been a terrible time for the arts, as you all know. You're fans of the arts, you're fans of opera, you're fans of a lot of things. It's been a terrible time, and the freelancers, the artists really, and all the workers in theatre have borne the brunt of that. And it's just been hit so hard, the arts. And one of the things that I know drives me on, and all of our team on, is the thought of getting a show in front of you again, and also giving those freelancers the amount of work again. We're looking at something in the region of 250, I think it is, freelance artists and artists, people that work in the theatre to make the show happen. And so having them all back again and just able to work with us and perform for you again is something that's really driving us on. And really, well, my wife would say it keeps me awake at night. It probably does, but there's a lot of things. But we just can't wait to share the shows that we're putting together for you in the 2021 season. 2021 is our 25th anniversary. It's our Silver Jubilee, I think. And so we're asking you to support us in this year as well. There's lots of ways to support us. There is a Jubilee Society that we're starting up, not only about the 25 years that's gone, but to help us keep at that level and improve for the next 25 years. Details will be on our website about that, and please, if you can, join that society. That would be really wonderful. It's important for us to do the next 25 and be looking on, even though we're in this moment at the time. It's a thing. All of our cast this year, once again, so many people have asked me about is the travel restrictions causing problems to us. Not so much really. We're a heavily British-based arts company and opera company anyway. There's so much talent in this country that we heavily rely on that. Obviously, we've got a few guest artists, international guest artists that come back time and time again, who we love. But on the whole, it's overwhelmingly a British-based ensemble. And so I think that won't be affecting us too much this year at all. So, should we go through the individual productions just for a moment? Is that okay? I mean, it gives me a chance to stop for a moment talking. So we're opening our season in 2021 with The Marriage of Figaro. One of the classics, obviously. We're really excited about it, not only because of what we're going to deliver to you all, but also what it means to us as a company. It shows what the young artists and our belief in nurturing artists has done. The conductor, George Jackson, and the director, Ollie Platt, both have come through our Young Artist scheme. 4 of the principal singers have come through the scheme as well. And so the Young Artist Scheme has been running 10 years now. The late, great Christine Collins started it with us as the philanthropist at the beginning. And 10 years on, it's a regular thing, but we're opening an incredibly important season for us with the creative team and the principal players all being Young Artists alumni, which I think says a lot about what we try and do. We don't just talk about it, we do really believe in it and nurture it. And so we're really proud of that. We've also got the Young Artist itself this year is the Marriage of Figaro. So because of everything that happened last year, we're bringing some of the artists from last year into this year. The director and conductor are coming through. 3 of the young artists last year that didn't get on to perform have been re-employed in shows this year. So we're really trying to look after those moving onwards, but also bringing in some new young artist talent. And the young artists we've got have just been incredible. So in fact, in September, when we could actually get out for a little while, it was the first time we've done auditions for a while. It was a little bit strange. We were all masked up and screens up and everything between everything, but we were able to get in and audition the new young artists and give them a bit of something to look forward to for next year. Rosram Gobin, Nardis Williams, Lizzie Karani, Julian Van Mallarts, Vicky Simmons, Jim Cleverton. It's just the cast that I dream about of some people that are just so devoted to this company, and we can't wait to put that in front of you. So that's Marriage of Figaro.
Okay, next up, another young artist reappearing.
Well, another young artist reappearing on, thank you, Anna, in La Traviata's
Former.
Former, yeah. La Traviata's the revival of our acclaimed production from 2018, directed by Radula Gaetano, conducted by Matthew Kofi Waldron, who was the first young artist conductor 10 years ago, and now has been conducting for us a lot and brilliantly, and he's conducting Traviata again. We've got the entire cast coming back from 2018, which is very unusual. There's one slight change. Our young artist is moving into one of the roles. But on the whole, we've got the entire company back, which is just fabulous to look forward to. We've got the great Lauren Fagan singing the role of Violetta. We've also got the very, very, very new mum, Alison Langer, being being Violetta for some performances as well. So if you're watching Ali, congratulations on the newborn. It's wonderful, wonderful news. The Traviata also was. We very rarely revive things, as most of you would know. We got to a point where we only kept this one as a set because we don't keep many sets. We kept it because on the very last night of the performance, I was just stand next to our associate producer Monique, who's with us tonight in here, and said to her, "I can't bear not to see this again, so we're going to keep it and produce it again in the future." It just had such a hold on me. So sometimes my job has perks, sometimes it does. Yeah, you got to hope it does sometimes. Third up is Cunning Little Vixen, the Janacek, sung in English. Directed by Stephen Barlow, who is the director responsible for 2 of the greatest achievements of this company, by really outstanding. He's done many shows for us, but 2 outstanding achievements with the Tosca from 2008 and also Flight from 2015. So it'd be great to have him back with us. We've also got Jessica Cottis, the conductor, making her company debut, and so we can't wait to welcome her into the company. And as the principal singers, we've got Jenny France and Julia Sporson, who last seen together at RHP in Ariadne of Naxos, who were just sublime together, weren't they? So we just can't wait to welcome them back. I just think they're just exciting artists, and we're really, we've had a lot of success with Janacek over the last few years, and it's just great to do another one, and particularly one in English.
And this is our first Vixen, isn't it?
It's our first Vixen. We've been looking at it for a long time, and I think that now is just the right time to do it, particularly with our Discovery matinees, and a lot of our Inspire work, which I'll talk about a bit later. But we were able to do other projects around it with schools and things, so we've been really be able to push our boundaries on our Inspire work with that too. L'Amico Fritz. It's one of the things we're known for about performing rarities, Italian rarities. One of the things we really love about pieces like this is that we've done it, this will be the 3rd time we've done it over a period of 20 years. It's every 10 years more or less. So it becomes core repertoire for us. We have Adele Thomas, the director, making her company debut, and Beatrice Venezzi, an Italian conductor who conducts at the Torre del Lago Puccini Festival and the Mascagni Festival. So they're the creative team coming in. And I think that with all of these artists coming together, and also we've got an incredible leading lady. She's over there. So Keandra Howarth, who you heard earlier on, is singing that song. So I think that she singing that role rather. So you'll hear from her again later in another piece. Also, that piece, some of you will know, if you don't know it, when I just say L'Amico Fritz, because I'm rushing through things. The Cherry Duet is one of the most famous pieces in that you'll really recognise as soon as you hear it. Finishing our main season off, we have the Pirates of Penzance co-production with Charles Court Opera, with an unbelievable cast: Yvonne Howard, Richard Burkhart, and John Savornin, who is also directing. And I can think of no better thing, particularly after the winter we've had, than being in our theatre in August with that. Can you? Yeah, I think that, fancy dress optional for anyone that comes along. And we'll look forward to that. I think we're going to try and hear some music now, so I can have a quick gin and relax a bit. But I think that until we come back, I'd like to reintroduce the great Fran Hills on piano and Keandra Howarth, soprano. Welcome back. Thrilling. I mean, just to be back in the park and hearing that later on in the summer. Thank you so much, both of you. Great. We're going to move on and talk about a few other things that we've been doing over this last period. Apart from not getting my hair cut, I think that's the thing that I haven't been doing most of all. I just saw that then. But one of the things that is central to us as Opera Holland Park, as many of you, if not all of you know, is our Inspire work, our outreach work. In these times, I think some of the obvious things would have been to reduce that, and I know some people have. If anything, we've increased it. The reach that we can get through some digital platforms, whilst not having the immediate effect of being there with someone, has been really successful for us. So Jimena and a group of our singers and directors have just worked brilliantly on this all through this last period, ranging from many things. A lot of work with Age UK, we do a lot of work with them, but ranging from things like we had an online Valentine's ball with them. We've done things like poetry competition, a workshop that ended in writing the song together. Opera Unity, which is something that we work with families online. People can come in on Zoom and they share the experience together. When the schools closed again, we had some online lessons. We had 3 weeks of bite-sized lessons, one a day for 3 weeks, just about for different age groups. And some of the pictures that we had sent into us from the young children were just amazing and made a lot of the stuff we do worthwhile. We work with groups with dementia, with Parkinson's. We keep going on everything we can, because whilst we're continuing to bring opera to the community and the community to opera, we just believe in it so much and it's just central to our work. And through the season, we'll increase more of that as we get closer with things like, we have a scheme called Opera for Thought, working with people with dementia, and they follow one of our productions through the rehearsals and with the young artists and everything as well. So it's central to us. So if you think, well, in the off season we're not doing that, we're doing it more, and even in this year we've done even more of that, which is just great to experience and have us working like that. Shall we have a look at some of the theatre slides? Shall we? Can we do that? Simon was behind the camera and he's amazing. He's going to tell me when we've got some slides up, and I'm going to try and talk you through them. You've seen some of these anyway, but okay. So what we have here is an overhead view. Don't panic, everyone. This is just for artistic interpretation. The canopy is there, but if we had the canopy there on the drawing, you wouldn't be able to see what we've done. So what we're trying to do here in some of the way is we've talked about the social distancing. We've talked about the space. We've talked about the safety, and this is the important thing on this. You can see from this overhead that this is just a random thing that Takis has put together for us with 2s and 3s and 4s and singles, just to give an idea of how far away from each other people can be and how safe that can be. And I think what you can see there, well, you can't really see there, but is this thing about the flexible seating with, individual chairs that we can move to fit what that booking is, but we can keep good distance away from each group. So we're very pleased about that. We've also got the thrust stage that you'll see at the top of that illustration. The main stage is still where it is. It's exactly where it is. But when we were looking at this, and Takis and I were talking about this at great length, one of the things was just getting to the point about how do we reimagine the theatre, how do we create a more dynamic space for this time, but also just as importantly, possibly more importantly, it was to give us more space for social distancing on stage as well. So we've got that, the thrust stage comes out around the orchestra, and so you can have really, I'm describing it to a lot of people as a split screen. So we've got big widescreen at the back on the stage, and we can have close-ups down on the stage right in front of the audience there. Should we go to the next one? Have we got that one there? Yes, okay. So this is a side view. From here you can see a little bit easier the thrust stage. You can see what it is. It's on a rake, which means it slopes down towards the audience there, which creates a better viewing angle for people throughout the theatre. The seats at the left-hand side there are on the floor, and then we're up in steps of approximately 6 inches. But you can see on this drawing or this illustration, you can really see the distance between the depth of the thing as well. The steps up are quite shallow, but the depth of each step has got the space. So you've got leg room in that completely in front of you, and people behind you like that as well. You can also see, it's nice to remember sometimes that we are in the middle of a park. You know, we have spent 20 years trying to make the theatre more and more indoors, but now it's very prudent of us to make it more outdoors. So you can see that we are in the middle of the park. It's got trees, it's got a lot of air, fresh air around there, and very breezy around there. So I think we're really looking to encompass all of that. Let's go to the next one, Simon, if we may. I feel like sort of Keith Floyd or something now, saying, you know, can we get another bottle of wine there? You know, can we just do that, talking to... So this one is the front of house. Now, there's still a work in progress, like all of these, obviously we're working on it. But this is an idea that that Takis has come through with me on, that it's using recycled and reclaimed materials a lot, because it's just what we should do. This area there is with either the bars, we'll talk about that in a moment, but it's just trying to use more the natural surroundings. We are in a park, so we're using reclaimed wood, we're using things like that, just to have a more earthy and feel. There's a quite steep staircase halfway in that picture that, please don't panic, no one will ever walk up there of any of you. That's just, that we'll have a rail there as well, but that's just for our technical bit if we need to get up there. We're not using that one. But to the left of that, there is the entrance into the auditorium itself, which is 3 or 4 steps, probably 3 at maximum. So you see what I was talking about earlier on, that level of accessibility to the entire theatre, that's to the back row. And so I think that we can, that's easy to get in for most people. And also at the front of that, there's it's on floor level. Also on that one, we're looking at some of the bar areas there, which depend on regulations. Regulations will change many times between now and then, I'm sure. We're just giving ourselves options. Lima, who's here, hey Lima. Lima, who's here, will be running that, all of you know Lima. And so we're looking at various things. We're looking at, it will be on the purchase path for the, when you buy tickets to order drinks in advance. We're looking at some seat service, table service. We look at pre-orders and everything. We'll be looking at that, constantly looking at it, changing for the best what we can do at that time. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is a view that not many of you will have had, but this is from the stage, sort of high up on centre stage this is. Once again, you can see the sheer space between the people and the canopy above them, which of course with our usual seating standard would be much closer. But you can see that it's a nice airy thing all the way around, but you can see that from, if you're a performer there standing sort of high up on centre stage, you can see how you can walk round into the round the thrust stage into the audience more or less for a very sort of immediate effect, and I can imagine the directors, I have to tell you, are going mad of being able to use that and just create a completely different experience. Yeah, so I think openness and space, and that's where a singer comes from. I think that's the end of the slide, Simon. Is that right? Correct. Thank you. I hope you all like them. We're really excited. It's a constant work in progress. You know, we're having meetings with Ted, our production manager, and everyone in the team's working on this. But Takis just worked miracles on it. And, you know, I really knew, he and I were walking around it last summer when we were at the park, and when we had a couple of concerts there with 200 people saying, what if? You know, I was never believing that it was all going to be over by now. So we were looking at that straight away then. And I think some of that work we've done has really sort of paid off, hopefully, but we're really confident that we're in this position now. The big thing, of course, that you'll see on that, and you'll know anyway, is that that is a 400-seat auditorium. We usually have 1,000 seats, and we usually sell them all because you're brilliant, buy so many tickets. It's been great. So in real terms, that means there's every single night that we perform, we're missing 600 seats. Every single night we're missing 600 people that would normally be in there. So one of the many things we're trying to do, you've been so supportive of us, is have we're really sending out an SOS to you. It's a save our seats. It is asking people, if they can, and I know times are tough, but if they can, when you're buying a seat at the purchase point, to buy another one or another 2 or whatever, that you're not getting the benefits for. We can't pretend there are any benefits to it apart from just helping us. And it's really that every night, 600 people missing, if you could buy 1 or 2 seats extra that night, would really be fabulous for us. So details of that will be on our website, and we'll be in touch with you about some of those things anyway. So I think that we're, you know, I've certainly talked for long enough. I think we're going to try and get some questions, I think. Anna, are we going to get questions?
We are going to get questions. We've had several that have been pre-submitted, and thank you to everybody who's done that. You can also submit live by using the chat box or the link on the form on the email that we sent earlier. First one, very cheery. It's about British Youth Opera's little residency at Opera Hall and Park. Is this the start of a beautiful friendship?
Well, I hope so. I mean, but we've also, I really do hope so. We've also had a beautiful friendship with British Youth Opera for many years. They are a great company. The chief executive, Nicola, used to work for us a few years ago. But they're like us. They're always nurturing people, artists. They're an amazing company. And like all of us, like every arts company, they've had a difficult time. So, friends are good to be together in bad times as well as good, and they were struggling around for a venue, and they asked us, and we were happy to try and help them and bring them in, because we share so many similar values. So they'll be doing a week of 2 different productions over a week, I think. That's still secret what they're doing, although I do know.
Oh, okay, but we're not allowed to say.
We're not allowed to say.
I have been asked to explain the process by which they select these things, which is completely different to us, almost the opposite, in that they audition the cohort and then decide the repertoire. So it's a little bit more like conservatoires do when they're selecting their shows.
But they're a brilliant, brilliant company, and I'm thrilled to have them with us this year.
Relaxed performances. We've had a few questions in about them and about our history with them. Should I start with a definition? I know that you can talk about the history.
Yeah, no, please do.
Definition is that they are for welcoming people who find conventional theatre behaviour challenging or difficult, which would include people with learning disabilities or movement disorders or an autistic spectrum disorder or other neurological conditions. Other people just like them because they are actually relaxed performances. And so each of the 4 Discovery matinees that we're rolling out this summer, they will also be relaxed performances, and we're very much hoping that that will appeal to families or to people who have never been to the opera before, are worried about stuff which actually doesn't apply at Opera Hall and Park, like things like dress code, or dinner intervals, or all that kind of stuff, so that they can just get to know the theatre, get to know us, and get to know 4 rather wonderful operas. Yeah,
I think they're great relaxed matinees. We're very, very proud of this. That in 2015, we were the first UK opera company to hold a relaxed performance of our Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Will Todd, and it was just such a thrill for us. In fact, the audience were just brilliant, and they loved it, and the performers all loved it, so it was very exciting all round. So to be really following through on this with all of our or most of our performances now, really, really great.
Safety measures. Several questions about this. I'm potting them all together. Will we be, for instance, disinfecting seats, having hand sanitizer? Will there be a policy of needing proof of vaccination to attend? I think we can rule that one out.
Yeah. Can I try and go there? Because I haven't seen these before, so I'm going to. We can just take in disinfecting seats. Yes, seats. We can disinfect seats. We're wiping seats down. I think that's sure. The sanitizer around the place, we bought some last year, and we'll be using those and getting some more, and they were the pedal ones as well that seemed a bit safer to us. So definitely. What was the next one?
Requiring proof of vaccine to attend.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one, that for me. As most of you who know me would say, I'd always tell the truth and be open, because I think it's the best policy. I'm not sure that can work at the moment, even though it's got good intentions on some of it. I think it starts getting slightly discriminatory if that you're actually stopping people coming. I also think, though, I have to say that the safety procedures and methods that we're putting in, I think we won't need to get to that. As long as you all come with us and are flexible with us and understand what we're trying to do, I think we won't need that so much. Saying that, things change and we change with it as it happens. But I think at the moment, I think our safety measures will deliver that security to you without that in mind.
On the same subject, will people in the audience who have been vaccinated with both doses be expected to wear masks?
No, I don't think so. I think that the thing is, once again, I'm going to say this a lot because it's just the truth, is that we'll change as things change. The regulations, I've given up on all facts from people at the moment. You know, there's things change so much. It constantly changes. So anytime we can't say about what we're definitely going to do in 2 or 3 weeks even, let alone in a couple of months. But last year in most restaurants and bars and at Holland Park itself, when we did some performances, it was much more whilst you were moving on your way in, on your way out, or you're going to the toilet or whatever, then put a mask on then, but as soon as you get to your place, take your mask off. Now, at the moment, we don't know where we're going to be on that, but that would seem a sensible place to start. But if the numbers are worse and we have to do something about that, we will. And if they're better, we'll look the other way and say, okay, well, let's not look the other way. We won't ignore it. Let's look the other way and say, okay, well, we can have people taking their masks off much more easily.
I would also say that there's a very useful frequently asked questions section on our website. Please do have a look at that. And I guess this also fits into the whole sort of safety thing. I believe you wanted to talk about toilets.
Well, only because I normally get asked about them. I think the thing with the toilets this year is that we've tried to, well, we're keeping the same amount of toilets there for 400 people as we would normally have for 1,000. We're creating a one-way system in and out of the other side. So I think that it's just another thing that we're working on. It certainly won't go down on the numbers there. And I think with sheer 400 people in there compared to 1,000 normally would change it quite drastically anyway. I think also, I'd really like to say this, that Chloe and Doug and everyone has been working on the FAQs. I think that they will come, you know, things will happen as we go along and we'll be looking at it continually. But on the whole, there's a really good outline of what we think we're preparing for at the moment.
And we were preparing for what looks like worse than is actually coming.
Yes, I think that's right. I think that we will always go a little bit further. I've got the responsibility of the safety of all of you coming in and all of the performers and all of our own team here. So I think we'll always put safety as the priority. So we're always likely to ask that bit more because we want everyone to be safe. I think also, Anna, you have to say as well that even though if audience members are coming in, they are vaccinated, it would tend to be a lot of performers and artists wouldn't have been vaccinated then. So I have to protect them, even though if people are vaccinated in the audience, I have to protect them as well. So I think we're just, you know, treating it as seriously as it obviously still is. And by that time, I think if we can do that well enough, which I really believe we can, I think then that makes it more enjoyable for everyone.
Yeah. We've had questions about live streaming and about our digital work in general. I don't personally think that live streaming, actually I'm looking at Simon here at the desk, I don't personally think that live streaming a whole opera is a terribly good idea because with a concert you know that people are pretty much static. With an opera you're moving around so much, but yeah. Simon's going to be filming them, isn't he?
Well, it's certainly the intention, you know, and Simon just fallen off the chair at the back behind the camera, but it's certainly the intention. I think live streaming is difficult, and particularly in this space, and because we're keeping people further apart than normal in the audience and on stage. So I think that we'll certainly be filming them. We're looking to do different things with that. Our Ballerina Massacre is still streaming online at the moment. It's on demand. We've got a few other plans coming up. We're putting, I don't know, can I say the thing? Can I say that thing?
Yeah, you can say
I can say that, yeah. We're looking at a film performance of The Bear, the William Wharton opera, coming up soon. On
location?
On location, indeed, on location. And we have to keep something back. And also I think we've got some recitals coming up. All of these things will come to members first, certainly for a period of time before we put them out anywhere else. But I think that we want to try and give some more content to you. You know, we did the Christmas gig, which was very successful. We did the Holocaust Memorial Day. We did Pavel Haas with Nikki Spence. It was just Lada on the piano and the string quartet. It was just incredible. It's just incredible. So I think that we're tending to do things when it's the right thing to do rather than just flood content out. But I think we've got some really exciting things coming up.
And there's no doubt that digital is going to be here for a while, isn't it?
Digital is going to be, I think it's going to be there forever, really. I think the problem is, Anna, on this is that the entertainment industry or the live music industry missed the boat at the beginning of the streaming and the digital thing about people accepting it. People that completely accept that they pay to watch Netflix or Amazon, completely accept to pay for music on different channels, but on films on different channels. But with streaming and concerts, people do have a problem with it, and that is a problem for us. It's a problem for our freelancers. Our ballet and masquerade, for example, it's very tiny money goes to people, but it goes to everyone. That went between every member of the orchestra, every member on stage of the chorus, the principals, the wigs and makeup team, the crew, everyone. So that gets split up because that's what we believe we should do. It's not very much, but we need to get into a rhythm of paying for it. Saying that, all the things we just talked about will come to members free. So that's not a knock for anyone at home. That's coming to members free. It's just that generally digital is a problematic area for the arts.
I want to get on to a sort of section which I would describe as supply and demand. Right, there's really quite a few questions in this, but first of all, Guy Austin asked, how many seats are there for each performance? Well, I think we've answered that, 400. And how many people are there in each tier of membership? Now, Chloe has very kindly provided me with all the stats here, just in case we dried. There are approximately 1,500 members and supporters in total, which is nice. So ambassadors, founders and benefactors currently add up to about 100. Envoys, 170. Gold members, 75. Silver members, 1,100. Friends, 50. And we had certainly an email earlier about concerns from people who had missed out on being able to get tickets last summer. But of course those were... missed out on getting tickets last summer? Yeah.
Okay, well I think there is a different thing on that one in that with... we had, I think, 5 or 6 performances last summer with 200 seats because we were making it up as we were going along. That's 6 performances. I think there's something like 50 performances at the moment. And we can plan for it, and we can plan it now, and as members you get this time to come in and do those things. So yes, I mean, I'm certainly not going to say don't book your tickets soon. Do book your tickets soon, that's brilliant, but I think that there's good numbers there for that, and because we want to look after the members first and foremost. And
I've got a nice little total here. There are, let me get this correct, 18,000 seats on sale in total.
Okay.
So we should be able to do it.
Yeah, no, and it's great because the thing is, it is a different time, and you know, it is 40% of our audience, but we're doing a few more performances than we've done in recent years, and I think that we've got to look at the demand being different to normal years as well. But we're going to be there waiting for you, and I think yeah, be great to get you booking. And I think we've went on sale with our founders and this morning, and we had a great response today. So there's still lots of tickets left, don't worry. But there's a really great response. So it was so heartening because, you know, we live in a time at the moment where this is the first time I've seen a lot of the team here today for a while. We live in the rectangle on Zoom with each other, and so I think that just having that, and it's heartening when you're working away at your home desk just trying to get this sorted, to have that immediate response. So that was really exciting.
Yeah, really exciting. And again on that subject, are you going to limit the number of tickets that people can buy because of reduced availability? I'm going to cough.
Yeah, no, I think that there is. I think there is a limit on it. I'm looking at Chloe now. There is a limit? For Inspire tickets, absolutely, yeah. And Inspire tickets, which is fair because that goes out and they're cheaper tickets anyway.
Those are £22 tickets. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to scroll back. Sorry, my coughing there and saying it's not COVID. I think it's worth pointing out that everybody in this room...
That's a good point. Can I say that properly?
Yeah.
When we've done the recent performances and filming, and again today, we've gone quite a strict thing. We're all wearing masks apart from when we're speaking to you now. Everyone in the room here is around wearing masks. And also we all had a COVID test within the last 24 hours. So we've all brought our certificates in for that on our phones. Also, when we did the Parvel House, we were so worried about this recital because it was the first time we'd done it and we hadn't done the test before, that we didn't even announce it until we were all in the venue. It was the quickest turn. Everyone was saying, "Why didn't you tell us you were doing that?" Because we didn't know everyone could arrive. So there was one person who was slightly late, and Monique and I and Chloe were a little bit worried about that, but we got there. So everyone here has had tests today, and one of the things we're looking at through the summer is that the artists will be possibly two or three tests a week on a revolving thing that we're going to work around, depending on what the situation is. But that's certainly our intention.
I want to move to the section that I've called comfort questions.
Right.
Okay.
I'm trying to look at the questions quickly
no,
to get them
you
right.
can't. That's cheating. There's some concern over the appearance of the chairs in the artist's impressions. Will they be comfortable for humans as opposed to avatars?
They'll be comfortable for humans, right? Yeah, I mean, there'll be a chair. I don't know what else I can say at the moment. I think that we, in the spirit of complete openness that I said about before, we haven't got the chairs yet. That's the thing. We're working on that. We can get them. We've had a lot of offers for which chairs they are, but I think we haven't got them yet. But I think that there's a bit of a spirit around at the moment that we're, maybe we're going to be saying to you, bring a cushion. Maybe, I don't know.
I've never forgotten turning up at Aldborough for the first time and wondering why everybody in the queue was carrying a cushion. Yeah. And I knew pretty soon.
But maybe, and I think that this is, obviously there's a compromise from our usual comfy seats, but I think that with that and the extra, more open on the sides, all this comes...
Sorry, that's come up as well.
Is it coming in?
How are we going to keep warm and...
Well, I think sometimes it gets chilly at our place anyway, to be fair, even on a nice night. You can see the experienced Opera Harlem Park goers. I think the same thing applies. I think I can laugh at it and be facetious, but I really don't mean that. The thing is that the safety from COVID and the virus generally is that priority for me this year. We will probably be a bit more open to the elements. We will probably be a bit colder. The seats probably won't be as comfortable. That is just what it is. But what I'm sure about is that we're going to be as safe as anywhere that's putting on a performance this year. That's what we're going to do.
And delightful in warm weather.
And delightful in warm weather. And have a glass of something nice from the bar with Lima and book it on your tickets in advance and you won't mind as much.
I suppose that this is just a bit like comfort. Food. Lots of questions about will the usual picnic tables be available, which surely depends on the government guidelines at the time.
Yeah.
And if we book seats with tables, which is the seats which are on the artist's impression, that have the little tables with them, can we bring our own food in?
Well, I think the thing is with the picnics, we hope to have some picnic areas there. The thing I can definitely say, they'll be much reduced for sure because of the space. We're having to lose some of the space for one-way systems and just safety anyway. So yes, I think that will there will be some, there'll be less. But as Anna said, it will go on the guidelines at the time. That would be the overriding thing about that and about food. The tables is a slightly tricky one. I think there'll be more like tables for drinks in reality, which I think has got quite a nice boutique-y feel, and sitting there with a glass of something nice and watching the opera at such a immediate way. But I think that I think at the moment, possibly, I mean certainly not during the show. I mean, I have people during the show, but it's certainly possible throughout the rest of the evening. The thing is, I've been saying this to a lot of people recently, is that in our 1,000-seat theatre and any theatre in the world, the first thing you want to do at the interval is get up and move to somewhere else, but often to go and sit somewhere else. You just want to stretch out. The difference here is that all of those seats have got space. They've all got the leg room. They've all got areas. So it could happen there. But we've also increased the ensemble area because obviously we need social distance in there. We're going to have the ensemble with a bit more open sides, an outdoor area for the ensemble as well, an extended one, and also the Dutch Terrace is going to be part of the ensemble as well, which is also going to be an open-ended thing. So we're increasing that area to make that more comfortable as well. And I think that we're looking at ways of doing that. I think I'm looking at the team. I think we're going to do things of possibly booking your place in the ensemble on a night, just in advance. But obviously, as members, we'll do whatever we can when we can. But I think there's just a lot of different things at the moment. I read this thing the other night that summed it up for me, is that all isms are now wasms. Everything's changed. And some of the times when we're not saying this is definitely going to happen, it's because we don't know what's going to definitely happen yet. It's just we're constantly changing to make it as comfortable and as pleasurable and as gorgeous. And these shows we've got coming up for you are going to be great. But over top of them all is the safety, and the safety will be the number one priority through the entire year.
Okay, so we'll have to get back to you and keep you posted on whether you can bring canapes or picnics and so forth, and we will. The young artist, you've mentioned the March the 18th, okay.
I don't know if I did in the end, did I? No, I didn't,
You didn't, okay.
Okay, so the young artists, as I say, it's the 10th year of it this year, and we've got a great group of young singers. We're launching it on the 18th of March, which is a digital thing, but we've got some performances on there, and you can all come on and meet the young artists and do it. Those of you that already support the young artists, you'll be getting invitations to that. But also, if you want to support the young artists, which is a brilliant thing to do, that's the time to do it. You can come along, you can look on our website. I'm sure we can get details to you about that. But come along and support the young artists. You can support an individual one, the general scheme across the board. And it's a really exciting and I think rewarding thing to do for people, because they know that our audience, you at home, know that we're good at nurturing artists, and the chance to take part in that directly has been something that's really appealed to people. I got a lovely message from Ruthie the other day. I think Ruthie might be watching tonight. They're saying she can't wait to, if you are Ruthie, hi. But I think that she can't wait to support another young artist this year because she's got so much out of it.
Oh, that's really sweet. I'd also say actually the young artists' performances are also very rewarding as well.
Yeah.
Even if you've seen the production with old artists, it's nice to...
I think it's interesting because the young artist performance now, because we've had to do a couple extra because of only 400 seats, but they're also doing they also do the school matinees as well. So the young artists get a full rehearsal period, Sitzprobe and dress rehearsal, and then 2 young artist performances and 2 school performances. The school performances are just extraordinary in every possible way, aren't they? The kids just scream like it's a pop concert. They just go with it complete. It's just brilliant. Everyone we've done has been amazing. And so I think the young artists really enjoy that as well. And it's a genuine grounding of stage time, which stage time is the thing they really need at that point in their career.
This is quite a nice segue, actually, thinking about kids. From David Culver, please talk about the choice of English for the Janacek.
Hello, David. Very nice to hear from you. I think that we've often gone for original language in certain pieces. I think there's certain things that just sound better in that. There's just the world, the soundscape in which they're sung. They fit nicely. And also for singers, because learning unusual pieces sometimes it's just that we're preparing them for work all around the world. The Janacek, because we're really reaching out to a younger audience on that. We're doing a lot of outreach work on that. We've got a lot of plans with our Inspire team.
There's children in the cast as well.
A lot of children in the cast, and it just seemed the right one to do on that. I probably wouldn't have said it if we were doing a Katja, but I think with kind of Little Vixen, I think it's just right for the audience and for the style to be in the vernacular like that.
Okay, super. Oh, it's the modern dress question. Will Figaro be in 18th century costume?
Will Figaro be in 18th? Well, I think at the moment I'd be pleased if it's not in PPE gear, I think, I think that...
but you never tell anybody.
I never tell anyone. It's not for anything more than, as I've said this many, many times, in opera, especially with the core repertoire, we have a series of operas that everyone knows the music, they know the story, they know about the history of it. They often got their favourite recordings of it. They know which cuts we're doing, they know which translation we're doing, it was like that. The only single thing we've got is to say what we're going to do with it, and you know, it's just to have some sort of theatrical enjoyment of surprise. Now, obviously, we never go out of our way to make that difficult for people. And some of the times you say, well, modern dress, Tosca I talked about earlier on was a modern dress, and it was probably our most successful production ever. It's just, if it doesn't work, sometimes it doesn't work. It's not about the modern dress. But I think that if we get it right, then it really works. So,
and we will be singing it in Italian.
And we will be singing in Italian, yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Financy questions. I think it's probably worth clarifying again, we do not have any Arts Council support.
No.
We did not apply for the Creative Recovery Fund.
Yeah.
Can you please update us on any agreed or prospective sponsorship for these for this season?
Well, as in corporate sponsorship.
Yeah. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think the corporate sponsorship is a very difficult year this year, just because of the situation that companies are in, like everyone. Some of the people companies that have been supporting us for the last few years intend to, again, you know, they're all warm with us. They're doing smaller things with us this year, but not as much as possibly before, but all with an intention to carry on. But what's really happened is brilliantly that so many individual supporters and donors have stepped forward and supported individual artists, singers, you know, productions, and just really started giving more money in themselves just because they know what the sort of crucial time it is for us. So I think that it's happened in different ways, and I think people get us, get me, get the company, understand that we're not Arts Council funded, understand that our tickets are much cheaper than most of our peers, all of which I love. They're much cheaper than those. We have a lot of accessible seats. That equation just is not possible without getting more income in, especially with 400 seats. So when we're funny and we say, please join this scheme or do that scheme or support us, it's because it's to keep it like that, and that's what we want to do. And people have really stepped forward, and this week's, even since when did we go out with the announcement? Thursday? Friday? You know, the reaction from some potential donors becoming donors, and donors increasing their donations on that, was just fantastic, and really, once again, really thrilling. And because you're working in this sort of bubble at home doing things, and then suddenly you're selling tickets and people supporting you, and it's just been an amazing few days, actually.
I'm just seeing another question coming in. Oh, do you still have the marvellous City of London Symphonia? That should be the marvellous Royal Philharmonic Society
award-winning City of London Symphonia.
Yes, we do.
Yes, absolutely. They've been with us for many years now. I was talking to Matthew Swan, the Chief Executive, this afternoon. We're really, they're our resident orchestra. We love working with them. And in the summer this year, when we did the couple of concerts, it was really exciting because the musicians were really excited about being on stage again, weren't they? You know, for those of you who didn't get there, it was an amazing thing because we were excited, the singers were excited, the audience were excited, the orchestra, and it was like, this is what we do it for. And it just brought back a lot of the core thing of why you all love opera, why we love producing opera, and it just reminded you of the actual thing of just live performance. And the orchestra was just so excited. And on the Bear that we're coming soon, we've got a small ensemble from the CLS working with us on that.
Super. This is very sweet. How are you? I hope it means all of us. Maybe it means you.
How am I? I'm okay. I think everyone's okay-ish. I think it's the most difficult question of 2020 and 2021. I have good days and I have bad days. I think that the thing is that I talk to a lot of my peers in other opera companies in my job, and I won't go into names now, but it's a nice tight group, and there's often someone who's having a bad day and they will ring someone else, and then you go, oh no, I'm having a good day today. Let's get through this. I know your problems. And I think there's only been one occasion where three of us were all ringing each other and saying, not me today, I can't help today. but I think that on the whole, yes, the team-wise, it's difficult. I mean, there's a few of us here today, you know, for those of you who know, a lot of our team, we've got Lima, we've got Monique, we've got Simon filming, Chloe over there, and me and Anna. You know, we haven't been together in a group for, like, you know, probably 6 months. So that's just a very strange thing when you're used to being with people every day, and particularly in a season where you're with them all day and all night, and you're just living like that. So I think that's been a very difficult thing to. Zoom meetings have been okay, but they're not the same as being in the room with someone doing the work.
Okay, last.
Thanks for asking, though.
It's very.
That's very nice.
Indeed.
You know.
Oh, Denise. Sorry, I can't read this. Oh, is it Denise Fines?
Denise Fines. Yeah, hi,
wants
Denise.
A shout out.
Hi,
Okay, there we
Denise.
are.
Yeah, lovely to
Shout out
see you.
for Denise.
Well, lovely for you to see me, I guess. I don't know. I can't see it.
It's delightful. Okay, last and possibly the most important question: how can we help? I mean, there's lots of ways.
How can we help? Yeah, I think that. Well, whoever asked that, thank you very much as well.
We have dinner at Norma.
Yeah, we're working with a lovely restaurant called Norma with a great chef, Ben Tish. We're going to be talking about that to you all very soon. That's an exciting thing for take-home meals. What can you do to help? I think buy the tickets is great. Bear with us for being and be flexible with us as we go. I think that we're all making this up as we go. I think that we're in a good position. I have to say, I think the team have come with me on, we went radical, we went early on making these decisions, and it could backfire, it may still backfire. But I think we've really been working on it. So be flexible and understanding as we're trying to change things as we go. Please buy an extra ticket on the SOS, Save Our Seats. And I think the other thing is that something that reminded me of this, we're talking, about the ambassadors the other day, and the initial reason that group of supporters was called ambassadors was to represent us and to be out there as us. So I think if you can talk someone that you know that's not a member into becoming a member, or if they're a member, raising your membership level, if you can talk people into coming and buying tickets, try us out this year, come to the Discovery matinees, anything like that, anything that just increases our options, because we can't lie, the arts have been on the floor this year and our freelancers and that, and we're just trying to make this happen. So any help you could give us, as well as all the help you give us already, any help you give us would just be wonderful.
I think that's it. I think we're going to turn to pumpkins.
Are we? Yeah, it's strange. I mean,
or mice or something.
Yeah, I think so. But are we done? Questions? Great.
I can throw a curveball in if you want.
Don't go on.
Okay.
Go on. What?
All right. I'm actually really surprised that this hasn't come up.
Oh God.
What happens if everything is indeed all right on June the 21st and everybody's out partying? Can you suddenly transform the site into something bigger?
Well, we couldn't put the seating stand up, that's for sure. We could increase the capacity of the auditorium as it is. I wouldn't be doing that too much of a rush. I think that, as I've said a few times, because it is the main thing and safety is a priority, I'd rather give people the experience of coming in and feeling safe and knowing that we looked after them this year. But there's options there for sure. I just don't want us to run away with that idea too quickly. But I think, it's going to be asked if all those dates go well, but then we've been through a year of it and the dates have gone badly on a couple of occasions. So I think that the open air thing is our big advantage. We've already got social distancing. We've got everything in place, I believe. We'll continue to look for other things, but to do as best we can and to be as safe as possible with great shows. And I just look forward to one of those summer nights when we're just in there and there's 400 people in there and the orchestra and the singers all singing and we're just looking at each other and going, okay, we're here. And that would just be an amazing thing to do.
Brilliant. Okay,
so I think we're going to say goodnight. Thanks to Simon behind the camera for working wonders. Yeah. Thank you to the team here tonight, to Lima, to Monique, to Chloe, and to you, Anna. Thank you very much. Thank you. You can give yourself a round of applause. And over there in our off stage, we have the lovely Keandra Howarth and Fran Hills. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you to all of you. I can't wait to see you in the summer. As I often say, it's your company. This is it. We represent you here. We just can't wait to welcome you back. And let's see you in the summer. And stay safe. And I can't wait to see you all then. Thank you very much.